Of all the faces among France's agitators, these may be some of the most famous. And it doesn't take much to work out what message this sends about the politicians.
When you show Pinocchio, you know that he's lying.
For Combo, as he likes to be known, street art is like a coup on a wall, giving voice to people who are so done with traditional politics.
They have something happening because people want to have something to change, really want it.
France is in a disruptive mood. It's written all over the political street. Populists left and right, outliers and upstarts are all among the frontrunners. And because they're favored by the voters, one could very well become the next French president. Even in small cities, in the clamor for change, the insurgents draw enormous crowds. Many of them young, captivated by ideas once left to the margins. They come, they listen, and they approve. Resistance, they chant. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, so far left. His critics on the right call him the French Chavez. His surge terrifies the markets. He says it's a people's revolution. His France would be closer to Russia, out of NATO and into tax policies seemingly inspired by Robin Hood.
Je suis le candidat qui veut abolir la monarchie présidentielle et instaurer la 6e République.
That message delivered in multiple locations via hologram. Supporters on the streets still use the old methods to tap into the new discontent. Yann Brossat is an old political hand.
Bonjour.
Now candidate for Mélenchon, because he says the old left and the right have equally sold the voters out.
Je pense qu'il y a une forme de colère un peu froide depuis maintenant plusieurs années de la part des Français qui ont l'impression d'avoir voté et d'avoir été trahis. Et donc, il y a évidemment un succès pour les partis qui n'ont pas gouverné, ce qui est relativement logique.
Logical, maybe. But at this Sunday Paris market, there are more militants, as they call them here, than shoppers. How to choose from a gauntlet of activists selling their version of change? The only certainty ahead of that choice is that the French are tired of the old top-down political system. It's broken, says Claude Askolovitch, author and political translator.
The system is not dead. We feel it should die. We don't know how to replace it, because replacing it would be admitting that our old pyramidal structure, our old French way of seeing things, that some king, some General de Gaulle, some Louis XIV, some Napoleon, some Mélenchon will save us, is not working anymore.
But would-be kings have emerged all the same, casting themselves as the answer. 39-year-old Emmanuel Macron started the independent, centrist, pro-EU En Marche movement just a year ago. Though a former minister and a financier of the Paris elite, he claims to speak for Middle France.
Bonjour madame, je peux vous donner le programme d'Emmanuel Macron?
Amélie Crucifix is a doer. She's in advertising and recently took on a similar but more urgent role for En Marche. And she finds comfort in the middle ground the movement offers.
There's a lot of good ideas in the right and in the left, but there's too many years that we opposite the right and the left. It's not a good idea.
But it was a sharper sentiment that got her involved.
A fear. Fear like what it did in politics with Trump. Fear from Brexit too. It's a big fear. I really think that Europe is important and I want to stay in Europe. I have to do something. I've got children and I really, really have to do something right now.
Even in a country that relishes debate, the differences this time are particularly sharp. Miles away on the political spectrum, 20-year-old Eve Projet like a significant number her age, is opting for a more radical choice. Vote and, yes, even run for far-right, anti-EU Front National.
On a une Europe supranationale qui décide pour les pays, ce qui est totalement scandaleux. Chaque État doit être souverain et pouvoir décider pour lui.
Marine Le Pen's nationalist project is built on the idea of France First, an anti-immigration, anti-Islam populist.
Le seul espoir qu'on retrouve aujourd'hui, c'est Marine Le Pen qui, elle, redonnera sa grandeur à la France.
It isn't clear whether all this is about who is best at selling hope or best at selling fear. In the dying days of the campaign, it was do or die. So the self-styled anti-establishment candidates descend on Paris to make a final plea. Some streets in Paris are edgy. Anti-Le Pen protests and a suspected arson attack on her headquarters have set a serrated tone.
Repulsive, laid, ugly. Yeah, it's an ugly campaign. France doesn't know what it is, what it wants to become, and what it wants to do with itself and the world around it. So it brings us bad politics.
Eve Froget says she doesn't understand why Le Pen might provoke fear in others. She's on her way to help set up for the party's pivotal Paris rally. She levels her own labels at Le Pen's main rival, Macron.
Cet homme représente vraiment un trou noir, c'est le vide. C'est vraiment le vide.
Across the city, Macron's supporters have booked a venue that holds 20,000. Soon, it takes on the feel of a giant nightclub. Amélie Crucifix is here too, doing her part to help persuade.
Nous allons rendre la France à son optimisme, à sa foi dans l'avenir.
But the critics are never far away.
Do we try this guy, Macron? Do we still try a new guy? Do we still admit that maybe we're not going to be, I don't know, cheated at? Is he for real? It has become the key question.
Hours later, Eve Froget takes her seat and Marine Le Pen takes the stage. Her motto, surprise, is in the name of the people.
Rendez-nous la France!
Just like many a moment in this election campaign, this too brought a surprise when a protester somehow made it onto the stage. Outside, anti-Le Pen protesters clashed with police again. Warnings come like sirens. Voters are told the road to change is rough, even dangerous and unpredictable. And yet, every one of the so-called agitators was, or still is, part of the establishment. They now stand for change in the name of the people who demand it. But if the polls are right, what to make of the countless who haven't decided at all? Nala Ayed, CBC News, Paris.